We're joined now by incoming Arizona State softball transfer Kelsey Hall. Kelsey, thanks so much for taking the time today.
Thank you for having me. Sorry if you hear my dogs barking in the background, but thank you guys for having me.
Of course. I just want to start off with the decision to come to Arizona State in general. Obviously, you entered the transfer portal. You definitely had several options, but what was it about Arizona State and then Megan Bartlett that really drew your attention to ASU?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, you look at Arizona State and it's a beautiful campus. Like, that's something anyone on the internet can see before even stepping onto campus. And so you're right. Was an amazing experience being in the transfer portal. And really, just once I got to Arizona State, that was my final visit. And the connection, first and foremost, that I had with the girls, we got the opportunity to talk to multiple girls stay in town, which is obviously a green flag because everyone loves it there. Everyone loves the training resources you have and whatnot. But yeah, just connecting with the girls and Coach B, you could tell she is very, very player oriented and she just cares about you as a human being. And that is exactly what I'm looking for out of a leader and you can tell she's hungry.
Yeah.
You can tell like she's ready to kick some butt in the pack and even after that. And that's something I really want to be a part of. And it seems like it's something that's really going to be really special. And I'm blessed to have 2 years of it.
Yeah, absolutely. She definitely built a little bit of a powerhouse over in Texas before she got to ASU. But in terms of just your career so far, obviously a lot of accolades, a lot of awards. Maybe the most notable, though, is the Comeback Player of the Year award in 2022 that you had earned. Obviously, the season-ending injury, I believe, in 2021. But what was that process like for you, coming back from that season-ending injury and then having the season that you did in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so thankful for the opportunity that I had. And can you guys still hear me? Am I
Yep.
glitching too much?
No, you're
Can you
good.
hear me? Okay, cool. But I am so thankful for the opportunities that I had at my prior university. They believed in me and we just kept pushing through. And not gonna lie, it was a really hard process. It was my freshman year was COVID, so the world stopped right before conference and then trained all the off season and then the first weekend out, right the very next practice after opening weekend, I tore my ACL and I was like, are we kidding? Like, is college softball just not for me? Like, what is going on? Like, what am I missing here? But even back home, I have some of the most amazing resources that everyone just around me was so supportive and graceful in my process that it was almost impossible to not be successful with how much like love I had around me.
Hmm.
And I would say like my biggest secret was I really learned grace within this game of failure. I think that for me was the reason, I guess you could say it was a pretty decent year that first year back was because I just was so thankful to be able to buy into my own process, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Because there would be times where like even in that season I'd get frustrated with my outcomes, but I was like, okay, check yourself, take a step back. Let's look at where you were a year ago when you were just doing the radar gun. So it was just really one of those things that I got the opportunity to learn from it, to learn how important the process is. And so as a result, I guess good things happen.
Absolutely. You had brought up that support system that you have. I know that the decision for you early on in your career to go to Fresno State, you wanted to be a little bit closer to home. And then obviously Boise State, it's a little bit further, but it's not like anything that's across the country. Does your family, like being close, at least in terms of, I guess, the fact that you're in Arizona now, like, did that play any role in your decision to come to ASU?
Oh, 100%. I am very, very family oriented. And I think it's kind of crazy. I was talking to Coach B. So I've known also Coach K, Coach Jimmy, the hitting coach,
Yeah.
for a very, very long time throughout my recruiting process in high school. So he's seen me since I was like 13 years old growing up, right? And so I always talk to them about how everything happens like the way it's supposed to. I think if I was going to Arizona or even further away as a 17, 18-year-old when you're still trying to figure out life, I don't know if I would have been able to handle it and be so excited about the opportunity as I am now as a 22-year-old and eventually a 24-year-old. So I think my process and my journey, like as it was happening, I'm like, what the heck is going on? like, oh my goodness. But exactly, it was like I kind of creeped away a little further
Yeah.
each time. But I think as I'm getting older, I'm able to handle myself a little more in that matter. And now it just, and kind of going back to your first question about deciding to go to Arizona State, it's how often can you say you have the opportunity to compete and make an impact on a Power Five program that's highly competitive and it's still a drive away from your family?
Yeah.
So
No,
that
absolutely.
was really special to me. That was one of the biggest decisions, is because I love my family so much, and my dad will still make the 12-hour drive. He will absolutely be committed, whether he likes to admit it or not. So.
Wow. Wow. For people that aren't familiar with your game, right? They could read up, they'll see the numbers, but what are ASU fans, and I guess what is ASU softball getting in a player of your caliber?
Yeah, well, I would just like to say I'm a fun time. Like on the field, as I don't know if you can tell now, I'm a pretty extroverted individual. And ever since I was young, I've always been told I am most likely the loudest person in the room. And you will definitely know when I'm playing. And again, with the process of like everything that happened with COVID and injury, like I'm just so thankful for this opportunity, for this to play for Arizona State. It's just like gives me chills just thinking about it. And you're going to be able to tell every time like we're playing at Club Farrington, you're going to be able to know I'm happy to be there. So that's just what I'd say is obviously like I've came to Arizona State, like I talked about Coach B's grit
Mm-hmm.
within this culture. Like we're going to get it done and we're going to figure it out, but we're going to have fun doing it. So I'm just really
Absolutely.
excited for that.
Absolutely. I do want to get into some of the fun questions now, just so ASU fans can get to know you a little bit. You said you're super extroverted. I am curious, though, if you've got your walk-up song selected already, or ones that you've had in the past that you really like.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, funny story. There's so at my first university, because I was at Fresno State my first 2 years, and then my next 2 years I was at Boise State. So at Fresno we only got one walk up song, and Boise we got three. But the one that was
Jeez.
always consistent was, I don't know if anyone knows about like the Rocky Balboa movies. Me and my family, especially me and my dad growing up, like that was like that's our series on travel ball tournaments back in the day in high school. We'd get to the hotel. So what Rocky movie were we watching? So my walk up song was always like, when he's have you watched the Rocky movies?
Yes, absolutely.
When he's training, it's like dan, 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 dan. I don't know, like I don't know what it's called. It's Gonna Fly Now or something like that. But yeah, so that's always
That
been
is
one of my walk up,
phenomenal.
right? And when I was at Boise and we had three, I had it as my last one. So it was like, okay, last at bat, you got to lock in here.
Wow.
You got to get it done. So, and it just always kind of like, it fired me up and it just kind of really kept me grounded. Just kind of connected me with my family. So yeah, that's a little about me. I love the Rocky movies.
What's your
So,
favorite one?
ooh, that's a tough one.
Because there's a consensus in the office of what the best Rocky movie is.
Really?
Yes,
I
absolutely.
I really like Rocky too.
Okay.
I like them all. There's one that I think Rocky 5. I'm not the biggest fan. I love Sylvester Stallone. Love him. If he's watching this, no, I'm just kidding. But
Hey, you never know.
yeah, you never know, right? But yeah, I would say probably Rocky 2 or Rocky 3 are my favorites.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. No love for Rocky 4. No love for Rocky 4. It's a shame.
It's good. It's good. It serves its purpose.
It does. Absolutely. I want to get back to the music. Obviously, you mentioned the walk up songs, but if you could, I guess, host your own music festival, who are your three headliners and why?
Oh, dang, that's a good one. Um, so definitely, I'm gonna try to go a little different variety here to
Okay.
cater to everyone because that's what we do. But first and foremost, I think Drake is an absolute all-time favorite.
Absolutely.
Everyone's gonna jam to at least one Drake song. And then I'm a big country girl. I do love country music as well. And I just saw, actually, I'm not even gonna go into that. I just saw Luke Combs in concert. Loved him. But I'd probably get Zach Bryan out there.
Okay.
And then my third, it would probably be Lil Baby. That's my when I'm getting hyped, I'm getting ready to go to my workout. I just put on my Lil Baby playlist and we're going.
What a
So,
trio. What a
right? Like
trio.
unexpected, but I think like every single person would be happy to be there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay,
Right.
last question. We had already talked about the movies a little bit, so this might factor into it. But if you could live your life in any movie, TV show, or cartoon, what would it be?
Okay, I'll just tell you. This probably would, if I like thought this answer out, it'd probably be something different. But I'll just tell you the first movie that came to mind, and you're gonna be like, Kelsey, that just does not make sense. But it'd be Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know why. Like
You want
I
to be a
thought,
pirate? Is that like, are you a pirate? Are you a good guy? Are you a bad guy? Like,
honestly, that's a TBD. I
okay.
I might be Jack Sparrow himself.
Wow. That's
Like just
incredible.
for the drama of it, right? But I just think like the tropical, like there's, I guarantee there's so many better options, but that was just for some reason the first thing that came to mind, and I'm gonna stick with it.
I mean, that's a
And
solid answer. We'll have to see what Disney thinks about the remake.
yeah,
But
I think like people kind of say like we're like the same person, so I think
oh,
it would.
you and Jack Sparrow.
No one's ever said that.
Oh,
No.
okay. Kelsey, before we get you out of here, just do you have a message to Sun Devil Nation?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to you guys. You have no idea how excited I am to get into Tempe and do some damage with y'all, but I've already been shown so much love from you guys, and it just makes my decision like so much more obvious that I made the right choice with how much love there is within the community. And make sure you guys come out to Club Barrington. It's going to be a great time, and we're going to make some noise.
Most
Or
definitely.
come.
Kelsey, thanks so much again.